Unfortunately, as a result of a young man, I mean, he's only 57 years young. He worked for 28 years for UPS. In the news here in our area, Christopher Begley worked for UPS. The day that he was out doing deliveries, 102-degree heat. Can you imagine what the index was? Begley, he collapsed. He died from, I guess, exposure to all the heat. So I'm going to bring in an expert when it comes to heart medicine. Spoken with her before, Dr. Fahmi Farah, board-certified invasive cardiologist based here in North Texas. Dr. Farah, I appreciate you making time for us here on News Talk 820 WBAP. So I suspect that Mr. Begley may have encountered several warning flags, warning signs that he was in trouble. What do you think those were?
I agree. It's hard to know exactly what happened there, but just the fact that he was out there exposed in this kind of heat makes us all wonder whether the heat had something to do with it. It could have been a number of things. It could have been something as simple as dehydration with electrolyte abnormalities, all the way to heat stroke and sustaining damage, organ damage from heat stroke. And that could have been any one of the organs. It could have been the heart. It could have been even his kidneys, and then ultimately leading to his demise.
Yeah. What happens inside? What happens to your heart? What happens to your mind when you reach a critical core temperature? And what is that critical core temperature?
Our body temperature, just to give you a little bit of an understanding of heat stroke, is our body temperature, internally, it's usually 96 to 97 degrees, right? And then whenever we get into heat stroke, our core temperature rises rapidly, and we lose our mechanism. Our body has built-in mechanism to cool ourselves down, which is sweating, one of them. We sweat, and that's how our body cools itself down. But when we go into heat stroke, that mechanism does not work anymore, and as a result, you just rapidly heat up, and that leads to organ damage. Hard to know whether he experienced that or not. I'm not sure if it was a full-blown heat stroke or a milder episode of that, and that led to some damage.
Okay, so the news report might provide some insight on that. We're talking about heat stroke, right now, this dangerous heat that is going to stick around a few more days here in DFW. We got a very hot Labor Day weekend ahead, and we're going to have those triple-digit spikes here and there. Dr. Fahmi Farah is a cardiologist. We're talking about heat stroke, and check this out. We're talking about Christopher Begley, UPS driver. He was looking forward to retiring sometime near future, father of two. He, according to the report, declined medical attention several times, said that he was better, had recovered, and he just wanted to go home. And apparently he did, and took the rest of the day off and a few additional days. And it was UPS, folks at UPS in the news, and this write-up said that they learned this past weekend that he'd been hospitalized, eventually had been hospitalized, and that eventually he passed away the next day. So what does that tell you? With internal damage, organ damage over several days?
It could still be internal damage, yep. I'm sure he, just based on how the case ended, my suspicion is that he was not feeling very well, and he likely progressively got worse over time, and finally he decided to go into the hospital. But in many ways, it could have been a little too late, depending on what it was. Like I said, something as simple as dehydration, if not taken care of properly, can really go down the wrong route. Electrolyte abnormalities could be detrimental. So it's hard to say. It's all speculation at this point. Hard to say exactly what happened, but a number of things could have taken place.
No, and a good heads up for all, football coaches and band directors and cheerleader squad directors, anybody, all the kids outside, track and field. It's just a good warning. If a kid gets in trouble, how do you cool down, let's say a kid or somebody you suspect is going through a heat stroke, a heat problem? How do you cool somebody down quick and safely?
The first thing to do is to remove that individual from the heat exposure, and if there's a cool blanket or even water nearby, just pat them down, try to cool down the body, the skin. Hydration is important. If they can drink something, give them some cold water, and of course call EMS, call for help.
All right. Dr. Farah, thank you Be safe, friend. Stay cool, and we'll call you again. Cardiologist Dr. Fahmi Farah here from the area. And I hope you guys stay cool as well. We got a long weekend, and we're all spoiled. Indoor air conditioner, like here at my studio, I'm at 73 right now. That's nice and cool. I know at your office, you're probably nice and cool inside your truck, your SUV right now. Yeah, we just, I know this is Texas. We're Texans, but you never know, man. You get yourself in trouble real quick.